Hello everyone and welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck techs that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have one of the exciting spoilers from the upcoming Spider-Man set, Lyla, Holographic Assistant. Pretty strong mono blue card here. She says that whenever you draw a card, you're going to put a counter on a target creature. So this is going to get out of control in mono blue, and we did it at a pretty decent budget. Current TCG market value is $124 to $174. We have so much draw built into the deck that we are running our lands a little lower to make room for more of these cards. So 32 lands, with 23 of those being islands and 9 of those being non-basic lands. So what we're aiming to do here is draw a bunch of cards when Lyla's out, kind of get added value and benefits off of putting counters on certain creatures, and there's a ton of combos in the deck to win, so pretty consistent combos here for this level of budget, and we're going to get into it today. So our combos to win here, the main one involves Benthic Biomancer. So Benthic Biomancer says that whenever you put one or more counters on Benthic Biomancer, you draw a card, then you discard a card. And then if you think about Lyla, she says whenever you draw, you're putting counters. So this loops infinitely with Lyla, and then it also loops infinitely with Wizard Class. So Wizard Class says if it gets to level 3, whenever you draw a card, you get to put a counter on target creature you control. So Wizard Class takes a little more time to get going, but it works the same as Lyla. And then there's some additional combos here with Wizard Class or Lyla out respectively. So if either of those are out and you have Walking Ballista or Triskelion out, and each of those has either Curiosity or Ophidian Eye attached, this goes infinite as well. So you're going to draw infinitely because they're doing damage, and then they're getting counters to replace the ones you're removing to deal the damage. So they will just basically destroy all of the opponents that are out. Any creatures they have, this loops infinitely with a single instance of removing a counter. So really strong combo here. And then we do run the risk of decking out because we're in mono blue and we're going to be doing a ton of draw. So we're running Laboratory Maniac in case we do run out of cards in our library. And then we're also running 20-Toed Toad, who says our max hand size is 20. When you attack with 2 or more creatures, you get to put a counter on 20-Toed Toad and draw again, which would put another counter on him. And then if he attacks and has 20 or more counters, or you have 20 cards in hand, then you win. So this one benefits from all of the +1 counter synergies from Lyla as well. So every draw is making him bigger. He's going to get to 20 pretty quickly, and then off the attack trigger, you would win. So, as promised, we have a ton of draw on the deck, so we're running Words of Wisdom, which is giving you 2 cards, and then each other player is getting a draw. War Room, at the cost of 1 life, you're getting a draw. Flux is super good. You're going to get to choose what you're discarding and then draw that many, and then you draw again. So every single one of these draws, if Lyla's out, something's getting bigger with +1 counters. Flow of Knowledge is letting you draw for each island you control, and then you discard 2. Not a big deal. Contentious Plan gives you the proliferate as well, so you can proliferate the counters, and then you can draw. Windfall's a wheel. Gaia Reach Sanitarium's consistent draw on a land. Jasha's Archivich is a wheel as well. We're running Etch Oracle. It has Sunburst, so basically if you pay a blue into it, it's gonna come in with a counter right away. And then in addition, you can pay 1 to remove 4 counters to draw 3 cards. So if this is your target from Lyla, it's getting bigger and you're getting more consistent draw, more counters on it. Pretty solid engine. And then Endless Atlas, because we're in mono blue, you're going to get to draw at the cost of 2 mana, so pretty solid. Even more draw, we're running Tolarian Winds, which is basically a wheel. Teferi's Ageless Insights, doubling your draws. And then we have Shadow Rift to make something unblockable, give it shadow for the turn, and then you draw again. Pull from Tomorrow, you can sink into X and draw that many. Same with Prosperity, but everyone's doing it. Ponder and Preordain are giving you a draw after you see what's on top of your deck. Quick Study's giving you 2 draws. Steady Progress has proliferating again for the counters and draw. Tesserit's Gambit, you can draw 2 and then proliferate. So really strong synergies in mono blue with +1 counters. I was actually really surprised how many there were. And then even more draws, so Mindless Automaton, you can remove counters from him to draw. Makokoro, Center of the Seas, consistent draw on a land. Keep Watch is situational, so if everyone's swinging out at you, you can draw for every attacking creature, respond to the declare attack, and then you're boosting your creatures with all of that draw and giving up counters to block. Combat Tutorial from Final Fantasy lets you draw 2 and then put a counter. Archmage Emeritus, we're running a ton of spells, so he's going to have Magecraft and draw you off of each one that you cast. Brain Surge and Brainstorm to draw and then put some back. Body of Knowledge gets draws when it's dealt damage based off of how much damage is dealt to it, and it's power and toughness are equal to the cards in your hand, so really strong in this deck. And then Blue Sun Zenith is another mana sink, and it shuffles into your deck so you can keep going. And then we've got additional draw benefits. So Lyla and Wizard class are kind of doing a lot already by putting the counters on there, but we don't want to just rely on one strategy. So Toothy, Imaginary Friend, is getting bigger with counters as well. And then when he dies, you draw that many. So that can be pretty broken in this deck. Psychosis Crawler is draining life off of each draw. Onerophage is getting bigger on its own. Same with Clinquant Sky Mage. So whenever you draw, they're getting their own counters, even outside of Lyla. Ominous Seas is getting Foreshadow counters that can be proliferated. If you remove 8 of them, you get a big 8/8 Kraken. Chasm Skulker, when he dies, he creates a bunch of 1/1 squid creature tokens. And Nadir Kraken is doing the same, but it's making tentacles. You just have to pay 1. And then we've got a couple of more synergies with the proliferating and the +1 counter. So Karn's Bastion lets you do it on a land. Thrumming Bird does it off of combat damage. Inexorable Tide says whenever you cast a spell, you proliferate. So really solid there. And Crystalline Walker is giving you mana every time you're removing a counter. So if you're loading him up, you're going to have a ton of blue mana. And then we do have a little bit of a secondary strategy here with Unblockable. So there are some cards that benefit from the counters, but we need like a way to win that's not just drawing a bunch of cards. So each of these basically makes whatever you're beefing unblockable. So slip through space and enter the Enigma, give it to a single creature, and they give you a draw, so it's another counter. Herald of Secret Streams is making sure that creatures you control with +1 counters can't be blocked. Riku, Resourceful Guardian from the new Final Fantasy set says whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature until end of turn, that creature can't be blocked by creatures your opponent you control, so really good. And then Invisible Stalker, Looter, Ilkor, and Shoreline Looter all have unblockable built in on them. And then Rogue's Passage you can pay for to make another creature unblockable. And then good stuff in the deck, we're running all the rocks that give us no max hand size, so Decanter, Endless Water, and Thought Vessel. And then we're also running a Soul Ring and a Sapphire Medallion to make all our spells cost less. Skatewing Spies, pretty solid here because everybody with a counter has flying, which is basically making them unblockable. Mystic Sanctuaries letting you bring spells back. High Tides doubling up your islands for the turn, and Propaganda's protecting us from the crackback. And then we've got a ton of counter spells and removal in the deck to make sure that our strategy goes the way we want it to. So we're running 5 counter spells, Counterspell, Negate, Swan Song, Arcane Denial, and an Offer You Can't Refuse. Wave Goodbye is really, really solid. So you're going to return each creature without a counter to its owner's hand. So kind of like a Cyclonic Rift, but specific to +1 counters, which we won't be worried about. We've got removal with Pongify and Rapid Hybridization, and then we also have Etherize, so if someone's attacking us for 4, we can return all of them to their owner's hand as well. And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video, and if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.